How are you doing today, Big Simp?
I am doing absolutely fantastic. It's Friday, which doesn't really mean anything because I don't have school or anything, but it still feels good, you know? You get to Friday and it's like everybody else is enjoying their Friday and it's just good vibes in the air. And here we are, Gainai27 and JJ coming out for some 70-star Division 2 action. I'm pretty pumped. What about you? How you doing?
Absolutely pumped for this race. I watched Gainai earlier having a few issues in 16 star, but I'm thinking 70 will be a bit more of a natural territory for him. And JJ, I think we'll give him a good run for his money. I think it'll be a pretty good race.
Yeah, I am definitely excited to see how this unfolds. Both of them quite talented players. I'm still shocked by how good the quality is of both leagues. We've got some very, very strong players. Like the fact that in Division 2, for example, JJ is sitting pretty at around a 51-10 as of 4 months ago. And Gainai is sitting at a 51-28. So they're only about 18 seconds apart. And Gainai's PB was about 17 days ago, so he's hot off the press, feeling good.
Absolutely. And like in some other speed games, your Division 2 may really see kind of a decrease in skill just from a lot of players being newer to the game. But in SM64, Division 2 is still really, really top notch. As you were saying, with 51 PBs, that's nothing to sneeze at all.
Yeah, definitely wouldn't want to sneeze at that. You might be able to get away with a cough, but sneezing perhaps a little bit too far.
About up there with scoffing, just generally any bodily function or sort of analogy that starts with an S isn't exactly appropriate for the situation, it seems. So both our guys showing off those brand new save files. Looks like Gainai going ahead and sticking with the Japanese version of the game. Hopefully not going to be coming in at just a couple of seconds behind. It would be really unfortunate to see the version difference make the difference here.
That definitely would be unfortunate, but it's certainly a possibility, especially with how close in skill level these two are. But either way, honestly, in 70-star, it's not that big of a deal. There definitely is some time save, but it's not absurd.
Right. Really, no category has more than a few seconds save by version difference, but with how close some of the races have been, it's definitely nice to just know that you're not going to lose time to that.
It's true. That is very, very true indeed, and both runners are readying up. It is time out here, ladies and gentlemen, for some saucy Mario 64 gameplay. Long awaited. Finally coming to you live. Twitch.tv/speedrun. On behalf of GSA, this is Division 2 KJL boy.
And so we got these blue screens, just illustrious. This has me kind of thinking, in 70-star, you don't get to see a whole lot of blue. You get to see Cool Mountain, a little bit of DDD, but that's about it. What Dry World 2. But, this game seems to have a lot of emphasis on the more warm parts of the color palette.
It's definitely very warm in here, which I wish it was like in Minnesota, but unfortunately, it's a little bit cold. Just a tiny bit. But, this gameplay, I'm hoping it warms me up. I'm hoping it gets me on my toes, gets the blood flowing through my veins.
See, meanwhile on my end, I'm hoping that these guys are so calm and collected that they cool down their environment into a sub-zero temp. Because I'm all about that freezing. All about it.
Really? Interesting. I don't know, man. I don't know if I buy it. I might sell it. I might bargain for it, but I wouldn't purchase it personally. Gainai, not even an attempt. That was hardly a try at Lakitu skip. The angle was completely out of whack. Gonna cost him a little bit of time. Not how you want to start the race.
Now, remind me how Lakitu's box works there again. Is it that it ends like halfway down the bridge, or does it extend widthwise down the bridge?
Yeah, it's on the entire bridge, and actually you can do it on both sides. It's basically the leftmost and rightmost pixel of the bridge, or pixels, and you're good. That's basically it.
So even though these runners, a lot of runners obviously very consistent at that trick by now, just from how many times they've had to do it, but that doesn't discount how precise it actually is at the end of the day. And there's a reason you see people miss it in races relatively frequently.
Yeah,
so,
sometimes I've actually been seeing a decent amount of consistency with the Lakitu skips. I'm a little shocked that Gainai dropped it. Might be an indicator of some pre-race jitters. I find that the nerves actually settle in quite early. People have actually said that they're nervous hours before the race in certain circumstances, so I can believe that. I can buy that. But as you play, as you sort of get into it, you're past Womps, and especially getting Dark World out of the way, kind of eases in a bit.
And beautiful 12-7 and 12-8 from both of our guys. Commentators a little bit too obsessed with the movement to actually ask chat to make guesses at the timing. Kind of eschewing tradition. And as soon as we start losing our traditions, that's when the downfall of society occurs. So
Something like that.
Maybe going down a slippery slope. Who knows? Meanwhile, these guys are about to go in the fairly slippery Womp's Fortress. I mean, there's a lot of steep slopes here. There's some water on the ground. Sure that this rock gets a little bit slippery at times.
That's a fair assumption. I'll give it to you, Electric. There is water. It is wet. Oh, and JJ looking not that wet.
Yeah, maybe the cage itself was wet. Obviously the handrails inside the castle have to be
greased. Oh, it's not happening.
That cage goes up too. Oh boy, we're just seeing misses all over the place.
Oh my! Okay, JJ at 2 points of health now. What is he gonna do? Red coin. Okay. Doesn't want to die. Gainai. Okay, finally making that cycle. And that Owlus, not worth it at all. Oh, what is happening? Gainai going on the bridge. Man, both players malfunctioning, and it's only Womps. If this is what's going down right now, I can't imagine what's going to be happening soon. I don't know. This is absurd.
Yeah, we may end up having a bit of a repeat of Benny versus Aki just in 70 instead of 16, which would not be the greatest race to have for the day, unfortunately. But
what happened in that race? I know Benny took a game off of Aki. Did he take the second game? Or the third game?
He took the second game, and it was because Aki took probably the most ridiculous set of deaths in SSL I've ever seen. One of them, during his pillarless attempt, he clipped through the pyramid top, went all the way over to where the tox boxes are rolling over the black concrete, and he clipped through the floor and died. It was probably the most insane thing I've seen in the game in a very long time.
Yeah, it gets kind of weird with the quicksand and edges. It can be a little bit scary. Love you too. Oh, JJ! That's got to be the worst mistake I've ever seen in Womps 100. That is so unfortunate. The level 3 bonk. Oh my goodness, the perfect storm and the angle and everything. Usually when you bonk there, you actually cannot make it. Oh, and Gainai missed Canalus. Bro, what is happening? Are we making it out of Womps?
Is this Womp's Fortress or Spaghetti Fortress? I'm not really sure what's going on at this point. I mean, JJ, that's about as bad as missing the last jump in TTC 100. I mean, anytime you're missing the 100 coin star by just 10 or less coins, it's rough. It's really just rough.
Yeah, this is quite a start here. Oh, and the RNG denying JJ the blue coin, saying nah, and just sailing down onto the slope. Gonna have to take care of this other piranha, and some pauses from JJ. Definitely not happy about what's going on, but I'm wondering if he's aware of what's going on Gainai's side, because Gainai is also having some spaghetti coming out of his pockets. Not nearly as much, but still some spaghetti.
Yeah, but at the same time, Gainai just getting texture set up cannonless. He's already got his 100 coin star out of the way. I mean, Gainai definitely is going to be leaving Womps with a pretty sizable lead. That is for sure.
Oh no! Is this real life? Or is this fake life?
I think it is just fantasy.
Is this the real life?
I mean, these guys are definitely caught in a landslide, and there is no escape from reality. That is for sure.
That's what it appears to be so far, but maybe they are cracking the code live before our very eyes.
It does appear that they're starting to be able to read the lines of the Matrix, but Gainai still having issues just getting up to Alice. Or sorry, not even Alice, the Womp Star up here.
Yeah, Gainai's having some very questionable mistakes. Looking quite nervous, sliding on the Womp. He is struggling. I mean, JJ, he seems to be bouncing back quite well. JJ actually a quite young runner. I don't remember his age. Is either maybe, I'm going to guess 13, 14. So I know personally when I was younger, I struggled a lot with mistakes and getting upset. But if he keeps his cool, he can totally make that time back. I mean, that was a gigantic mistake on 100. But so far, the rest of Womps hasn't been too shabby.
Not at all. And I mean, Gainai has definitely forfeited some time as well. So he's not putting JJ in the worst position ever, that's for sure. But JJ, like you said, he has his work cut out for him, but the biggest thing that he needs to take care of is just his mentality, making sure that he can just get over the mistakes that he's made so far, which the stage is upcoming. I think he has the chance to. He just needs to take advantage of it.
Oh, and Gainai resetting his timer. It's a bold move. We'll see if anybody notices. Might actually be the ultimate strategy.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think it's entirely out of the ballpark to have your second slide at 17 seconds. I mean, I've seen it before.
I'm seeing it now. I don't think I've seen it before, but I'm definitely seeing it now. And not only am I perplexed, but I'm also infatuated and in love.
Yeah, I mean, it's a very lovely time, just like that 12-8, it looks like, or no, 12-7. You know, Discord icons covering up a couple of the numbers. Either you have to choose to use the window box mode or just be willing to guess at the star count and time on the right-hand player's screen. You can't win with Discord, unfortunately.
Yeah, but it does what it needs to do. I mean, man, I don't know if you were around in the Skype days, but that was a bit of a yikes.
I was a little bit around during the Skype days, not during any sort of races though, so that must have been a pretty big yikes. But
Yeah,
what is not a yikes is Gainai's win cap here. Very nice flying here. The arcs were, you know, not the perfect arcs, but they got him by, that's for sure. But the next box miss, no.
Yeah, that pretty much just ruins it all. It's like throwing it all away. And JJ, both players actually missing the lag reduction there. You know, as soon as you come back to the lobby and there is sunlight shining down, if you do not press Mario Cam immediately, you will be eating some lag. JJ grabbing those twins. Oh man, this flying though is, I don't know.
Yeah, taking a lot of momentum loss there. It's in addition to the horizontal speed loss, when you fly upwards, you have to be really, really cautious to, as quickly as possible, go ahead and start another downward arc, because otherwise you'll see what JJ just saw with just a huge momentum loss, easily probably losing a second or two. And meanwhile, it looks like Gainai, you know, holding that dive in midair pretty steadily.
Oh, okay, here we go. And now Gainai shape-shifting into JJ. We have got some interesting things happening here on the stream. We'll see if it can get worked out in the back, perhaps.
In the meantime, can we get some fake syncs in the chat while JJ and fake Gainai get burned?
Man, this is neck and neck. I can't believe that JJ has finally caught up to Gainai, and they are literally on each other's tail, working through Dark World, but both of them getting a bonk.
It's very weird for you to see them. It looked like JJ was actually just, you know, trying to get through the pinwheel at an awkward point in the cycle, but Gainai going for Saya Cycle. Very interesting strat considering that identical burn. But, I mean, both of them ending up at about the same point in Dark World. You know, very uncanny for them to be at the same exact point, same exact movements. Could be tassing issues. Very interesting choices for both of them on this moving cycle. You know, JJ might be doing some sort of stream sniping on Gainai. Who knows?
definitely makes you think. Long and hard. But
Can we get some hmms in chat? You know, any sort of thinking emoji you have. Hopes, just any of them.
I suppose I can toss it. I can toss down and flex the simp think. Do simp think. Does Pope have a think?
He does. It's Pope's game.
Oh, there it is. What is this? What is that?
It's Squidward thinking.
Are those his hands?
I believe so, or tentacles rather.
Right. All right, we've got a key out of Dark World without a death. Gainai, you know, this is actually not the true Gainai that we're seeing, but true Gainai might have possibly died. Nobody's quite sure, but I don't remember reading this on the script. Both side flipping for the swag to Bob on Battlefield. Indeed, it is quite nuts.
Yeah, just beautiful fake sake here, and from the back, sounding like Gainai is having some issues with everyone's favorite piece of software, Open Broadcasting System, or Open Broadcaster Software. I don't even know. We just call it OBS. I don't know why I'm trying to be fancy. These guys are the ones who need to be fancy with this sky jump, and beautifully executed. You know, who knows how Gainai is taking care of this, but JJ... Oh, and we have liftoff yet again with Gainai. Looks like he's already all the way in CCM, going for that CCM 18 route. Very nice.
Back up in this thing. It's good to be back. It's good to have him back. But still, you know, cheating with the timer. Might have to disqualify him for that one.
Yeah, very interesting that it seems that even though his screen was down for a good 2 to 3 minutes, his timer only advanced 30 seconds from the very strange starting point. You know, with better OOT being a thing, Gainai must be running better SM64, and they must remove a lot of content. Meanwhile, both of them can't get onto that platform to even try to make the wall kicks work. That is just a shame.
Shame indeed, and man, look at this. Only 1 star apart here in Cool Mountain. JJ is making moves. I wonder if Gainai had some I mean, JJ did not have a great Dark World by any means. It was a late cycle. He didn't die at least, but Gainai must have had some troubles as well. And the big dive, head in the snow.
You know, I was almost afraid there. I'm not sure exactly how Mario's hitbox works there, but grabbing the safety red, good idea. I was almost afraid that when he jumped out of the snow, he was just going to jump right off the platform. Can't seem to find the teleporter box. That's pretty rough. And grabbing all the coins heading in, he is more than safe going into this slide with the penguin race. Good on him for making that decision. I mean, it's, you know, although I wonder if it'll almost be a bit hard for him to miss the requisite number, since he has, I believe, 3 extra right now. And normally you'd have 1 you can miss, so you're gonna have to figure out 4 separate coins to miss somewhere on this slide.
Yeah, actually, it can be more of a Monka-esque getting the right amount of coins to miss than it actually is to get all the coins you need. But Gainai doing a good job. 86, I mean, in a perfect world, you have 85, but 86 will do the job. He's just got to be careful here on this long jump. It's got to be right at the edge, but... Oh, that was too early. See, that's the 86. Sneaking up, and Gainai losing even more time. JJ's soaking it right up. Another missed long jump from Gainai, clicking his cam.
It just needs to eat his losses and, okay, nope, just gonna go ahead and do it one last time. Was gonna say, you know, maybe he should just try out the kicks. But looks like he knows what he's doing, or at least wants us to think that he does. 3rd try being the charm.
And JJ actually opting as well for the safety red coin, so we'll see how he deals with it if he ends up with 86 or 85 or possibly 87. 87's pretty rough. And once you have that, you got to get creative with how you're getting back up the slope. At 86, you know, you can do a long jump, it can work, but man, it's got to be a spicy long jump.
Yep, and what's also spicy is how Gainai is apparently warping the fabric of time as we speak, going from 2 minutes on his timer to 1540 while delivering this baby penguin to its mama. So, I'm not exactly sure what sort of time wizardry Gainai is using, but you know, looks like he's not using it to his advantage at least.
Yeah, I mean, this is only the beginning as well. We are not even close to the dicey part. Big Boo's haunt, you know, there's some scary ghosts, but it's not too shabby. But sure Big Boost Haunt will really kick it into high gear, and that's where a lot of action goes down in the DMs.
Yep, I mean, whenever Mario slides into the basement, it's definitely like sliding into the DMs. There's a pretty big chance that things are not going to go the way that you want them to. That is for sure. And I mean, it's kind of interesting how Big Boost Haunt is supposed to kind of be the aesthetically creepiest, scariest level, but in a speedrunning context, and especially in 70 star, it's not really too formidable, honestly. I mean, once you practice this big boost strat enough, it's really not much of an issue. Gainai demonstrating how it's supposed to go down.
Oh,
for not getting on top of the balcony in the right position.
That was close. He almost bonked on that wall.
Yeah, that slope on the roof can be really monk-ass. It's just barely not at the right slope to be considered a slant, I think, that you would like immediately slide off of. The game is kind of weird with I think like the way it calculates walls versus floors is all based upon the angle that the polygon's facing, and the roof is like on the verge of being one that would just cause you to slide right off. It's very very temperamental.
Are you talking about how some slopes, like, for the life of you, you just can't get up them?
Right.
That's actually, it's like they have, it appears to be like 3 different types of slopes. There's the ones that you can just stand on and you're good. Then there's the ones like the roof where you can kick up them, you can triple jump up them, and you're good. But then there's ones like the tall mountain, like the end of the tall mountain slide, if you're familiar with that slope. Those will you will always be sliding on them. You cannot get away with anything crafty on them. I don't believe it has anything to do with the angle. It's just whatever they used as the coding thing.
Interesting. I'd have to look more into that because what I was saying was coming from a Panon video where he's talking about the differences between walls, floors, and ceilings. But what isn't different at all is Gainai getting that mid grab just effortlessly. No weird strats involved. Just going right from the floor to the mid-air to the mid back.
Oh, but the bomb! Okay, we are way too close to the quicksand for comfort.
And gonna have to go for the talon backup if he can get up there, but just gonna have to go for if he can get back to trying to get atop the pyramid. Let's see if he can manage it. Fly Guy almost trying to make a bit of a sabotage appearance, but not quite able to. JJ gonna be making up some substantial time if he's able to get this plus, able to get the start of the standard plus, but taking a death there, not quite ground pound at the right time to get the right height. That is rough.
Yeah, that JJ had something going, but Gainai also struggling with Pillarless, and both of them having a lot of problems, and both mics not sounding too good apparently. I can tell co-commentators mic, turning a bit into a robot live on stream, and JJ continuing to get blown up. It's a bit of a monk ass out here in Snowman's Snow Land.
Yeah, Copom's mic also somewhat robotic. Discord probably having at least an issue or two. Just like JJ having issues with that Fly Guy, man.
Yeah, they had some beef to settle, but it seems as though JJ does not want to confront it. All right. Oh, Tomoplast.
Oh, taking a death as well. Man. Let's see if JJ can actually get this plus this time.
All right, not going for the Tomoplast. No need to flex. Oh, everybody in this. Oh, and he's in.
And Gainai having to just give up the bomb. But then JJ taking the fall of shame. Oh no. If you've watched a couple of my last casts, I brought up the fall of shame. That's it in person. That's what you do not want to see. That's what happens if you grab the star just a little bit too close to the edge of that fence. And Gainai just taking the L, taking the shell.
That's a good way to put it. Taking the L and the shell at the same time. Submitting to Pillarless, it has beat him into submission. And despite the mistakes we saw from JJ in Snowman's Land, he still comes out on top despite that devastating Womps 100 death. This race has been nuts, man.
Right. I mean, it's been filled with a lot of just pretty substantial mistakes from both sides, but also stellar gameplay that's made up for it. And, To think that with JJ's early game that he's already taken the lead before even Fire Tea, that's pretty substantial on his end. Definitely a big turnaround from his early game. But Gainai definitely not out of this race yet whatsoever.
Yeah, Gainai has shown he's capable of putting out some high-level gameplay, but definitely he's going to need to stop messing around because it's been a little bit rough.
And JJ not messing around at all with that lava boost. Very nicely executed. Let's see how Gainai's works out going for the long jump setup instead. And it's also good. Very nice. Ooh, but ground pounding just short of the star there. And JJ, meanwhile, going to be going for his long rolling star. Really nice to see these guys be able to do this without having to deal with the triple jump wall kick in 70 star. But ground pounding just a little bit short of the star as well. Those ground pounds supposed to be saving time on the actual star grab animations, but unfortunately, when you miss like that, you're actually just eating just a little bit of time. Gainai with that nice elevator star. And so we've got a pretty... Oh no! Gainai barely missing that ledge grab there. Let's see here. Gainai going to be finishing up his Boil the Big Bully star. Meanwhile, JJ nearly finished with LLL. Just got 2 stars left to grab. I believe one of them being the elevator star. Could be wrong though. Triple L's been going by pretty quickly, and it can be a bit difficult to keep track of which stars each racer is doing when both of them are taking different routes through the level. JJ also taking care of his big bully. Nice long jump to get back up on top of that platform though. And let's see how Gainai handles his triples here.
Coming up. Here they are, so menacing, but that is the position that you need. Beautiful. Ground pound. Just stunning. Absolutely gorgeous.
Just perfection. I was about to say gorgeous myself, but then I realized that it wouldn't have added anything.
It's fun to say. I would recommend it. Gorgeous.
Oh, and JJ with that safer long jump strat, I don't think that loses that much time, but definitely safer than doing the standard dive rollout setup.
Yeah, definitely a super consistent, and you see it a lot, especially in these races, when you just don't want to deal with any inconsistencies. It's a safe bet, but JJ opting for Hazy Maze Cave late, going to be coming back to take care of that after he's done upstairs. We'll see if Gainai is doing the same, and he is. And JJ rocking a slight lead. Honestly, this is insane. Like, it was looking bleak in Whomp's Fortress, but JJ has come back from the dead, looking like a zombie. Might need some brains. Not really sure.
Yeah, I mean, speaking of things that are dead, EDD, it's a little bit of an actionist level at times, but there is a lot of just hidden strategy that can actually save a decent number of seconds. I mean, with this swimming in general, obviously you're wanting to do the optimal swimming button presses to get the whop noise. But the arcs themselves, just like with flying, swimming itself is an art in preservation of a moment. And commentator kind of forgetting how words work for just a moment. But...
Yeah, I wasn't sure if that was just the Discord call sort of breaking up and you turning into a literal robot, or if it was just a slip of the tongue.
Yeah, nope. I think like a little bit of a cough was trying to come out in the middle of that word. I'm not exactly sure. Mario must also have just a little bit of a coughing issue. I don't think I've ever seen anyone swim with so many air bubbles coming out. Seems just at least a little bit wasteful.
Can't tell if those are air bubbles or if that's just him pushing through the water. But I'm not sure if that's how that works. I mean, when you move water around underwater with your hands, does it make bubbles? Can I get some help here?
I mean, if you do it fast enough, maybe. I don't know. I'm not sure how water physics works. I mean, commentator spends a bit more time inside on Twitch than he does in swimming pools, so not exactly aware of the physics of water.
I think it has to do with the surface. If you're near the surface and you make like splashes, you'll get some bubbles. But yeah, that is a lot of air. Mario's got the lungs. The most bizarre thing is he stucks on the coins and then he's all good.
Yeah, I mean, like I said yesterday in one of my comments, it's people have been searching for centuries for the secret of alchemy, but Mario seems to have figured out how to turn gold into air, which I'm not sure how much more valuable that could be. I think
God, that
definitely
is
more
a
valuable.
ring. No.
Gonna have to go all the way back through all of them. I really hate how the timer doesn't just reset.
Oh, okay. At least he got that fifth. I mean, I'm sure you've seen it. Runners just completely losing their mind on the rings after they missed it. But Gainai not losing too much time from that mistake. Ooh, JJ rubbing up on the wall. Not gonna be. Oh, no red coin. This is a normal cycle at stake. Yeah, Gainai could actually bring it back here in Fire Sea.
Very well could, especially if he's able to land this early cycle. And meanwhile, JJ, let's see if he's able to at least pull off the rest of the level pretty well, but already early cycle pretty well. It could, I mean, normal cycle, but at least it's not a very early normal cycle. I'm not sure what silver lining commentators looking for there, but
it looks like he could have a good ending though, and it actually is looking pretty good. And Gainai might barely be able. No, also a normal cycle. Gainai had opportunity, but Fire Sea's hard, man. It is very hard.
that is probably the understatement of the century. Certainly any given fire level can be considerably difficult, but Fire Sea, there's a lot going on throughout, and just a lot of very precise movement. No matter if you're doing it with or without red, it's a really formidable stage.
But we have gotten to the end. JJ taking care of Bowser once again. Toss him out of here saying, you know what? I can't deal with this. All I know is I need a key, so I'm going to toss you in the ball. And JJ doing it very nicely. Gainai up to bat.
I mean, you gotta wonder, where's Bowser holding those keys at? I mean, his hands don't seem to have any room for a key in them. He doesn't have any obvious pockets. Are we seeing like a Courage the Cowardly Dog situation, or is there something else going on?
It's something that is never explained, really. There are some games that attempt to explain it. You get a storage container like a backpack or something, but then you're able to basically turn that backpack into an endless void, and you just pack a million things into it. It seems like it'll never be a satisfiable thing. I mean, Mario doesn't really have too much going on. He'll whip a key out occasionally that he's sort of gains inside. But I mean, I guess they can get away with it being magical. If it's magical, it can shrink in size down to the size of a penny. So maybe there's something there.
I could see it. Could definitely see it. Although the thing that gets me though is Mario does have the overalls, and I mean overalls can have some pretty roomy pockets in them. Maybe not quite as roomy as those keys would imply, but could also be a foldable key. Who knows? But JJ taking that fall off of that thin ledge there, having issues even trying to get back up, and barely avoiding the amp there. And so let's see how he's able to handle the rest of Secrets and Undercoin. But man, oh man, giving Gainai a very decent opportunity to catch up. That's for sure.
Yeah, man. This has been so back and forth, and honestly, about what I expected, considering how close their PBs are. It's really hard to tell who has the edge. I mean, for a while there, Gainai had a pretty commanding lead, but Basement took him for a ride, and JJ took advantage of that. But now JJ could start to have a bit of a downfall here upstairs, possibly. It's so much packed into 150-minute. Oh, he's not making it! God! Not landing on the platform. Whoa, wait, what? Where are we going? I've never seen somebody. Whoa, okay.
Interesting strategery here. I mean, I'll go with it. I'll go with it. Must just not be confident in the wall kicks to get back up there the quote unquote standard way, if you could even call it that. Doesn't it start with a triple jump too to get back up there? It's like you do a wall kick between that stone pillar and then the wooden bridge. But I'm pretty sure you need to do a triple jump to even get enough height in the first wall kick.
Yes. Yep. You need to do well. You might be able to swing with a side flip. Not exactly sure, but the typical backup is a triple jump wall kick. The wall kicks between that platform and the bridge thing. Oh, God! I'm getting in a fight with the platforms. Guy taking a W, but not a W he's looking to take necessarily. Unfortunate. That was interesting.
JJ definitely taking a true W in wet dry world. You know, 2 W's in the name. I'm sure JJ has room to take one of them.
Yeah, I mean, you either end up with wet, dry, or dry world, and either one, not too shabby, honestly.
You know, you gotta wonder if the wet is more dry or if the dry is more world.
Wow, my brain. I don't know if I was ready for that. I was not expecting to hear such deep thoughts.
He is speaking the language of the gods.
Not.
No.
That was really good, actually. You might need to become a robot.
Become... How can one become what one already is?
Commentator turning into a robot live and admitting that he is a robot. What is Gainai doing up here? Hold the phone. I'm...
very interesting...
Gainai?
I
Gainai?
think we're seeing a Mario meltdown of epic proportions.
I'm so confused. I'm so confused. What happened there? Alright, well, Gainai taking the long, juicy, interesting method of getting the teleport star. Perhaps a little bit of sandbaggery. Basically calling out JJ and being like, you know what, I'll give you some time. I'm gonna catch up.
Yeah, it must be some sort of a braggadocious technique, although a very interesting one that I can't say I've ever seen anything like before. And I mean, yeah, that... I'm just sitting here stupefied, like, what? And taking a bonk there at the end of Secret? No! That's not benefiting my train of thought whatsoever. Commentator struggling to even explain the previous mistake, and then doing something like that, and then meanwhile, let's see some Ches Thicks in the chat for JJ's stream right now. Man, what a frame to freeze on right there. Gainai just cannot get a break with these secrets. THI really presenting itself as a much bigger challenge than you'd expect.
Oh my goodness, Gainai with the malfunction. Yes, hello, can you play that song again? It goes beep boop boop bop, boop boop bop.
Yes, sure, man. Which one? It's the one that goes Mario.exe, melting down, eating all available cache memory. Please restart system immediately to avoid critical data loss.
Nah, man, you're thinking of beep boop boop bop, boop boop beep.
Oh!
Commentators as well losing their minds here in the booth as I don't know if the stream is looking like this, but here in the commentary booth, it's actually a little bit choppy and kind of hard to tell what's going on, and I'm sure you guys are also able to tell, possibly through our voices. Not sure if Discord's having a hard time or what, but Gainai certainly having a hard time continuing to struggle here in Tiny Huge Island. It's a rough world out here.
Yeah, Discord near definitely having a pretty... I'm not sure who's having a more significant meltdown. Gainai with his Mario meltdown or Discord with its bandwidth meltdown.
And I'm getting word from the back you know, the boys behind the scenes. We're not dropping frames on Twitch at all. We're just having some struggles on Discord. But JJ failing to get the mountain clip, and Gainai continuing to melt down in Tiny Island. He seriously needs to get his act together, because it's definitely not over for him. Not by any means. He can still bring it back. I mean, it's been back and forth and back and forth, but right now Gainai, a whole lot back, not enough forth.
Exactly, and I mean, with only 25 stars left to go, there is still ample time for him to make up, but he needs to start making up time really right about now in order for that to happen. And JJ seems to not be very confident in his log kicks, it looks like. Don't really blame him, especially knowing the lead that he has right now with a guy just now getting into TTM. You know, I can definitely understand JJ wanting to play these pretty difficult top of the mountain stars safe, just while Gainai is trying to catch up.
Yeah, log wall kick, definitely a pretty difficult strat. Takes a lot of time to figure out, but at this point, the community has a pretty nice methodology for getting it down consistent. I'm sure these players could figure it out, and Gainai actually rocking the log wall kick. That's some pretty good time save. Oh, but no triple jump on the hill for him.
It's just rough to see. So many things in this race have been rough to see. I mean, I know it's really been my catchphrase, but I mean, geez, from Gainai's side, this has just been kind of an indescribable performance. It's definitely not his best day of racing, that's for sure. I wonder how much the flustered 16-star races earlier are playing into this. Just kind of messing with his Mario mentality.
Yeah, striving to do his absolute best, but flying off the handle, looking a little bit lost out here in Tall Mountain. But the brain is in overdrive. He's got his calculator out, but the calculator as well might not be properly working. I need to recalibrate, perhaps put some new batteries in that bad boy.
Could certainly be. Could certainly be.
Snowman's Land on the docket, though. JJ continuing to accelerate into the lead. A 3-star lead is nothing to sneeze at. Pretty good Snowman's Head. Oh, just as I said, no side flip, but that's pretty good. That's pretty good.
Yeah, no huge issues yet in Snowman's Land. I mean, as long as you're not falling back down to that igloo, you really can't ask for a whole lot more with that Snowman's Head star.
But moving on through, Gainai seeming to actually have gotten his act back together here in Tall Mountain. Hopefully, he's getting back into a good place mentally, because if you are not ready for it, Tall Mountain, Tip Top of the Tower, TikTok Clock, Rainbow Ride, and Bowser in the Sky will eat you alive.
Understatement of the year right there. I mean, they really are just completely unforgiving stages. You have a little bit of a reprieve with HMC, but Gainai going for a very half-hearted breezeless attempt there. He's just trying to make up any sort of remote time that he can, but not really doing anything with it. I don't even think he went past the wall kick, which, I mean, it didn't look good, so I don't blame him, but still.
Yeah, I didn't actually catch what happened there, but Breezeless can be finicky, and it's also uncomfortable to go for if you don't have the right setup, so it's possible that Gainai was a little bit lost in the sauce back there.
Could certainly be, and we see Gainai now with that top of the Snowman's Head star, but JJ going to be making way down to HFC with a just really sizable lead. Gainai certainly has his work cut out for him at the moment.
You could say that again.
Gainai certainly has his work cut out for him at the moment.
You could say that again.
Gainai certainly has his... I'm not saying that again.
I was just going to push it to see how long you'd go for, but I'd say that's about appropriate, cutting it on the third time. Oh, slightly misground.
You know, they say third time's the charm, and my name has 2 3s in it, so, you know, I feel like I gotta pay my respects.
So why don't you do the third time?
You know, Gainai's really got his work cut out for him. I don't even remember what I said those first 2 times. That probably wasn't it.
No, I think that was it, actually. That's a good memory. I couldn't have remembered. My brain is fried from trying to figure out what's going on with this gameplay. It's very stop and go.
At a point, you know, once you play enough Mario, your brain just becomes filled only with breathing and Find Mario. That's about it. And JJ making some good moves in HMT so far.
Yeah, once you have the triple jump box out of the way, you pretty much got it in the bag. I feel like the rest of AZ Base Cave, you know, Christmas Miracle can be a little bit Monka. Not I wouldn't call it Monka-esque, but a bit of a Monka. But everything else, not too shabby at all. We'll see how Christmas Miracle goes. I could be proven wrong right here.
And I mean, missing Christmas Miracle isn't the end of the world by any means, especially with the nice kick back up that we have. Didn't really look like much of an attempt, honestly. Wasn't going for the dive or anything for that.
Yeah, it's funny. The dive sort of came out. I mean, when I first started running this game, nobody did the dive, but it definitely seems to be faster if you can time the dive right. You can get moving, and it gives you a little bit of momentum in the water, but it's not too slow if you're dropping the dive. But it seemed like his wall kick back there, the triple jump, was just not high enough, and that's basically the facts for Christmas Miracle. But what else does he have on deck? Playing it safe here for an emergency exit. Not too shabby at all. And Gainai joining the action in AZ Base Cave.
But JJ not leaving him a whole lot of room to join. Going to be making his way out very shortly.
Yeah, and then it's time for action, as they say. I mean, he's got a very sizable lead right now. And I'm not sure if JJ's watching. He is sitting in the called deafened, as runners are allowed to if they want to check on the race, see how it's going. JJ with a slightly missed wall kick. Oh, huge jump! Can't be happy about that, but definitely want to shake it off heading into Tippy. You don't want any negative thoughts. You don't want anything on your mind. You just want to be in that flow state. Just let it happen. But
you really just want your brain to shut up and play at the end of the day. That is for sure right there.
Ideally. That's when I've always felt like I'm at my best, when I'm just having fun with the game, not thinking about the time, not thinking about, you know, I need this to happen, I hope that this happens. It's just pure, unadulterated action. And here it is, popping this door open.
Let's see how Tippy starts for JJ, because that's really going to determine how much of a chance Gainai has to be able to catch up. If JJ leaves a lot on the table, then Gainai could easily pick it back up. But if JJ is on his A game here, then could very easily have already swung the race in his favor. Starting with this lack of 2 manipulation here. And he's got the bounce. He's got to grab these 2 kicks, and then not even having the Mario seizure, just immediate pull grab. You can tell he's definitely practiced that a lot. Just handy cruiser crossing. Already, Gainai has his work cut out for him. Cruiser crossing is pretty much one of the biggest time losses that you see from guys in Rainbow Ride, aside from swinging and, of course, these tricky triangles.
Yeah, Rainbow Ride it's short and sweet. You know, there's a lot going on, but it's pretty much over before you know it, especially if it's going well and murdering that lack to bounce right off the bat. JJ's got to be feeling good. Ooh, taking us back to simpler times, going for the triple jump. Wall kick, ledge grab there. You pretty much can't mess it up. It's a very consistent strat. And these reds are looking not too shabby.
Yeah, having a little bit of a awkward movement at the very start, but no missed coins or anything, so can't really ask for much more than that. And Gainai just joining him in Tippy, or rather making his way up there. So JJ with a pretty cool 2-star lead already.
Very cool indeed. And this is when you got to think about, okay, maybe I can't get the W. Well, actually, you probably don't want to think about that, but you want to definitely keep your head up, stay positive, because every 10 seconds, and ultimately every second counts. JJ! Oh, no! Man! These dough blocks, once you get caught on them, sometimes they're a little bit finicky, and I'm sure he tried to press A right as he clipped on a double block and just kept running and slipping off. That's definitely a very uncomfortable mistake to be making. Can't be happy about that. And this is giving Gainai a chance to make up some time, man. I'm not sure what to expect.
Another death, though, rolling out just a bit too late. It looked like not getting the jump out. Very hard to exactly say what happened there, but man, just rough to see.
He cannot be feeling good about that one. Might be feeling a little bit shaky here. JJ does need to get it together if he wants to keep this lead. I mean, right now he's been holding it for so long, but like we've said many times before, Tippy is a very
at the same exact point. What?
JJ is locked in limbo, and they are officially tied. I'm pretty sure Gainai has taken care of Reds and Bounce at this point. They are right on each other's cheeks. Oh, wait, never mind. Gainai hasn't done Reds. My bad. That's wrong. But they're pretty close, is what I'm saying.
Gainai has done tricky triangles. That's the thing, though. If JJ doesn't get it this time, then okay, finally getting across without a death. But man, at what cost? 3 deaths to tricky triangles, and now synced up star grabs. Gainai having swinging in the breeze. JJ having Reds. You know, JJ maybe having just barely a lead. I think Reds is a tad longer, but that may not be the case for very long.
Oh no, the emote isn't in. Commentator getting exposed, trying to meme in the chat. So Gainai still behind. Oh, JJ with another. This is 4 deaths in Rainbow Ride, and this is quite a Rainbow Ride, but not a lot of all the colors of the rainbow, mostly red, I would say. An overwhelming amount of red. And Gainai is officially taking the lead, heading into TikTok clock. Just as I was talking about, JJ sort of having it in the bag, but he is falling off bars in Rainbow Ride. Oh,
yeah, I mean, with how many times JJ's fallen off the course, you would think this is Rainbow Road, but nope, traditional Mario course, and falling off is a lot more costly.
Okay, triple jump off the plane spinner, and it's good. He's out of there, but Gainai with a pretty nice lead. But man, just as easily as JJ lost it, Gainai may as well. TikTok clock is no joke.
Let's see how he's able to handle these 100. He's a quarter of the way through. I mean, these 100 coins are no joke. As much as, you know, if you've seen my other comms, I've definitely kind of commented about people doing Stomp on the Thwomp without 100, but there's a reason that strat has some popularity, and it's just because of how grueling 100 coin can be. Just all this additional movement to grab these coins, it may not look like much when you see Stomp on the Thwomp standalone, but it's actually very precise, very difficult, especially when you start getting towards the top here with all the invis walls that can happen. I mean, very, very unforgiving. And not getting a high enough jump there.
That was actually a genius by Gainai. He realized that he was not going to clear the jump. He could have went for the kick and then just fell down, but went for the wall kick. Very, very smart move, and a pretty nice one. Oh, what the? Did he just kick up the slope to get the star? That was like 2,000 IQ. Oh my god, the triple jump so fast. JJ hitting the invis wall.
And Gainai just wilding out right now. 3,000 IQ, like you said. And I mean, if he would have fallen down after that second jump, I don't know if that's a guaranteed death or not, but I know I've seen many people take a death on there. And 90 coins into the TTC 100, that is just a shame.
Oh, but Gainai failing at the time moving stress, and this is where TikTok clock gets especially sweaty, perspiring here. Gainai, can he figure it out, or will the lead be swapped once again? Moving clock is causing a lot of issues. The cogs crunching too hard.
It's a death. It is a death. JJ now with a newfound slight lead, time moving, get a hand, and it's his. Eating the ice cream cone, bottom to top, you know, very odd decision making, but it is the decision making that is giving him a lead at the very least.
Dripping in sweat, Gainai on the edge. Lost in the matrix, sucking on some eggs. The controller is soaked. Is it too slippery to continue? The kitchen rising in temperature. JJ breathing up. We're gonna get that W every point. Every second counts. JJ unable to get up on the ledge. Second try, not too bad though. Whew. Woo.
You can say that again.
Woo!
Woo! Woo! Woo!
Okay, time moving strats not working out at all for Gainai. It's getting to be just a little bit too much sauce for this man. As the great Goofy man once said, a man without sauce is lost, but the same man can be lost in the sauce, and Gainai, as he just had the sauce, quickly lost it.
Yeah, Cocom going in with the sauce analogies, but they're very warranted at this point. I mean, very, very saucy ending to this match. No doubt.
Finally landing the triple jump move, and there we go. And getting it on get a hand exactly when you want to see it. But is it too little too late? JJ's got TikTok clock on lock, if you will.
Yep, just 2 more stars and he is out of there. I believe he's just got one of the... I think he's got pendulums left. Could be time jumps on moving bars, but I know Gainai already got that, and I believe... Oh! Cannot get that triple jump off the moving ramp. I
see. I feel like at this point I would have been like, okay, it's not working out. I might be a little bit too shaky on this strat. I don't have it under control. Gotta ball it again. Oh. But JJ's struggling with these reds. What is going on? What is this race? And that looks like it's time slow, but honestly, not a huge deal. I hope Gainai does not try to go for triple jump moving strat. Realizes that the pendulum is slow, but above, and it looked like another death. Oh my!
Synchronized painting exits, but with no more disparate conditions. I mean, JJ leaving a painting, about to be going into bits. Gainai just having a true Mario meltdown at this point, just completely given up. Not concerned with the fact that every second does in fact matter in the league. It seems to have gotten his head back on, but you know, may be approaching that maximum 3-minute gap because of that little pause there.
Yeah, the extended pause just... I wonder if he realizes what happened. I think that would definitely rub it in even more. Like, knowing going into the TikTok clock you had the lead and having just such a rough time. Oh, the clock, man. The clock shows no mercy. Father time.
Clock.
My clock.
Mike Klukowski.
Okay. Alright, he's got it. Triple jump ball kick for JJ. It ain't happening.
But able to land back on the wood block.
But not happening. Alright.
Yeah, good idea. Yeah. No third time. Nice. No third tries the charm there, and thankfully Gainai continuing, because it looks like he may, if he's able to pull his cards right with bits, he's going to be able to at least pull some points out of this race. JJ falling back down to the, okay, not all the way back down to the bottom, but falling back down about a third of the level. Pretty considerable time lost there.
I can't believe what I'm watching.
Boy, JJ, just get to the pipe. Get to the pipe. You can go ahead and miss as many Bowser throws as you want. You're in a decent position to, at the very least, come within 20 seconds of Gainai, but man, he just cannot get himself up to the top of the stage. So now both of them in bits simultaneously. It's a good thing Gainai did decide to continue, because he can definitely win some points out of this match.
Imagine if Gainai didn't pause at all. They would actually be very close, I think. I mean, that was a solid 10-20 second pause. Roll out from Gainai. I don't think he's going to be... Okay, making the moves. If JJ misses all... Oh, Gainai!
And still with the rage pausing, I mean, it's just... You... I mean, at a point you can't help it when you get that frustrated and you really just can't think about playing anymore, but at the same time, it's really helping nothing.
They just got the throw on lock, though. 3 clean ones to top off a questionably, you know, somewhat... I can't say it was clean. That was just a train wreck of a tippy. But what Gainai with the extendo pause, and that is the final straw. He could have earned some points, but going for the forfeit is going to definitely cause some. It's going to cause a little bit of a point penalty for the man. Wow, I don't even know what to say. Honestly, what? was that?
Yeah,
was
what
absurd.
is really the only acceptable response whatsoever? JJ predicting that his number of deaths in Rainbow Ride, let me make sure I get this number right, 2,342,484,901,084.
Close enough. I think you might have missed one, but honestly, the fact that you were even that close, pretty impressive. I think it's 200. Wait, is it 234 billion, 248 million, 490,184?
Right, yeah. I threw in I started with 2 trillion by accident, threw in an extra digit. Kind of hard to count the digits like that. And unfortunately, no time for post-race interviews, but I mean, I there's too much that we'd have to ask these guys. This just a wild ride from start to finish, at the very least an entertaining race for sure.
Yeah. So many questions, but they will have to be on hold. Thank you guys for watching. It has been a pleasure. But we've got more coming up. Thank you, Electric, for the Slam and Coke comms. It has been a pleasure.
Oh, and likewise, as always, and chat, stick around. We've got another Battle for Bikini Bottom race between Zim and Ringo Tongo. If you've never seen Battle for Bikini Bottom, oh man, let me tell you, it is a run, especially if you played the game as a kid. It is, in the words of Shift, potentially the most broken video game of all time. And he's really not kidding. So definitely stick around for that. And after that race, we've got a 16-star matchup between CLG's Cheese, the one and only, and Ouija. So don't go anywhere. 2 really bumping races coming on right after this. And if you're not sticking around for those, well, thanks for watching and see y'all around.
Bye-bye.